It's Friday night and I got a story time for y'all, and I got consent. So I have a friend who is married. She had got a boyfriend. Okay, yeah, she was cheating on her husband and got a boyfriend. She wanted to go away with the boyfriend for the weekend. So she called one of her homegirls and she said, hey, I'm going to tell my husband that I'm going to be with you this weekend, but I'm actually going to be with my boyfriend, but I'm going to say that I'm going to be with you. So the friend says, okay, cool. So that she just know that I'm using you as an alibi. She just tried to put on game like, I'm using you as an alibi. I'm really going to be with such and such, but I'm going to tell my husband I'm going to be with you. Friend was cool with it. Friend was okay. Okay, you could use me as your alibi. Cool. So once my friend got with her boyfriend, she stopped answering the phone. I guess she was having her a great old time. She stopped answering the phone. Now, the other friend stated that she started to get worried. Like, she wasn't answering the phone all weekend and she wasn't texting back. So she stated that she got worried. So she calls the girl that was cheating on her husband. She calls her husband and asks her husband, is such and such home? Did you hear from such and such? And her husband's like, I thought such and such was with you this weekend. And she goes on to say, well, I haven't heard from her. I'm getting worried. Anything could have happened. I'm getting worried. So now the husband like, well, where is she? And the friend says that she was out with other friends. Now the husband is put on game that she is not with the people or the person that she said that she was going to be with. So the husband play it cool. He plays it cool. He plays it cool, was patient about it, never said anything about it. She comes home like everything was cool, everything was good. He didn't even say anything about it. He asked her if she had a good time, what did she do? Play it so cool. The only reason why the girl know till today that her husband know the truth is because her friend had said, hey, I called your husband because I got worried. You wasn't answering the phone. I called your husband because I got worried. And she was like, you called my husband? Like, what, girl? What? Out of all the people in the world, you call him? You call my husband knowing that I'm supposed to be with you? You call my husband? And the girl said, well, I was concerned. You wasn't picking up. I was concerned. She was like, girl, I was more than fine. I wasn't picking up because I was having a good time bonding with my boyfriend. Again, the husband never confronted her about this situation till today. The husband played it cool. So, till today, they are friends again. Now they're friends. They worked it out. They made up. They are still friends. But I want to know how the ladies feel about this. I'm even go deeper. I'm going to let y'all know how I felt about it at the time when this happened, because I've seen it all play out. And how I instantly felt about it is, girl, listen, if I'm in trouble or I'm in harm's way, let me be in harm's way. You better call anybody else in the world. Do not call my husband if you know I'm out there with the boyfriend. Call anybody else in the world. Why are you calling my husband knowing that I told my husband that I'm with you? But the friend, the girl that's married should have answered and should have responded via text or something, gave her a hootie hoo or something. I agree. I get y'all. I know y'all gonna say that and I get y'all. But call my husband and you know I said I'm with you? It's like at this point, if I don't call my husband. Like, how do y'all feel about this situation? Good Friday night topic. How do y'all feel about this situation, about this topic? Have y'all ever had a friend that y'all use as an alibi and you said that you was going one place but you was really going another? And the friend all of a sudden like kind of sort of rat you out? Because that's ratting. That's snitching. That's telling. So they rat you out. Like, let me know. I want y'all to tap in. It's Friday night. I'm going to drop this late at night because I know y'all like a messy story time on a Friday night because y'all messy. And that's another thing. Why y'all so messy? Why y'all up in these people's business? I'm in these people's business too. But why are y'all up in these people's business? Because we keep putting our business online, right? That's what y'all going to say. But y'all the ones that keep listening to the business that we're dropping online. And then y'all gonna be in the comments judging. I bet y'all gonna be in these comments judging after y'all done sat here, was nosy, listen to the whole freaking story time, and then y'all gonna place judgment on these people. So don't be judging the people, because y'all know y'all be doing y'all dirt too. Don't be judging people. And no, this ain't about me. This ain't about me. So don't say that this is a story time about me. No, somebody gave me consent to tell the story time, and I thought this was a good Friday night story time. So this ain't about me, baby. This ain't me. Okay? I told my dirt last week. Y'all, I'm still being grounded up from the last story time. But so this is another story time for y'all. But y'all need to stay out of these people's business. Yeah, we putting it online. Yeah, we telling y'all these story times. But y'all still need to stay out of our business. All right, y'all. Bye. Okay, this is part 2 of when your friend calls your husband looking for you, knowing that you were with your boyfriend and she was your alibi. So just a quick recap to catch everybody up, or anybody up that's new to the story time. A friend of mine was cheating on her husband and she wanted to go on vacation with her boyfriend. Now, she used another friend of ours as an alibi. Because my married friend wasn't picking up the phone all weekend, I guess she had a great weekend. Because she wasn't picking up the phone all weekend, that friend that she used as an alibi, she decided to call her husband looking for her. Now, everybody said that I didn't finish. Everybody, y'all, we so nosy, right? Y'all want an update. So I'm going to give y'all an update because y'all had a lot of questions in the comments. First and foremost, everybody kept saying that the friend was with the husband and her. I doubt if that was a thing, but I did like that perspective that y'all gave. But I doubt that that was a thing. That wasn't a thing. They were really close knit. She knew this friend way prior to knowing her husband. Everybody they had a close relationship. That's why she had the husband's number. Y'all kept asking also, what did the husband do when he found out? He never mentioned it. Never mentioned it. But the husband did wind up finding out about the boyfriend down the line, of course. And I'm not going to say too much, but I'm going to tell y'all enough so that y'all can get the gist of things. But my friend that's married and her husband did decide to part ways due to differences in their marriage and relationship. They decided to part ways, and my friend filed for divorce. I know what y'all thinking. She filed for divorce probably because of the boyfriend. She filed for divorce for other personal reasons, and we support her decision as her friend. That's why she decided to file for divorce. She is still with the boyfriend, and they have a good relationship. They're building together, making things happen. They are still together as one. So her and the boyfriend are still together to today and building. Now, the husband is trying to prolong their divorce. So it has been a long ride with him trying to prolong the process of the divorce. And he still actively tries to, pursue her on a regular basis. So I guess he still wants his family back. But that relationship, that door has closed for her. And, she has moved on, and she is still with the boyfriend. They're building together. They're still together as one. And that's the update. Now, her and the husband do co-parent very well together. He's still, they try to co-parent very well. So that's working out for her. But the marriage didn't work. And it was for other reasons outside of the other relationship. Now, I know y'all gonna grind me up and say, oh, that had a big part to do with it. ABC 1, 2, 3. From my viewpoint and from her viewpoint, it didn't have anything to do with it. It was other things going on within the marriage. And that is why she decided to end that marriage. And I'm not going to be too specific why she decided to end it. That's a whole nother separate story on why she decided to end it. And without consent, I'm not going to tell that because consent is important. What I am going to say is that it was other things going on behind the scenes. And that's what made her want to move on with the divorce. And her and the boyfriend built their relationship stronger, and they are still together to today. And she does co-parent really well with her soon-to-be ex-husband because, again, he is dragging this divorce out, and she just cannot wait till this divorce is final. And, again, he still actively tries to pursue her, and I guess he wants his family back. But that chapter, again, is closed for her. A whole nother separate stories. But I just wanted to give y'all an update because y'all was asking a lot of questions in the comments. So that's just a quick update on where that story ended, y'all. Bye.
5 months! You destroyed my fucking life! You know I fucking hate you! You didn't know! It's documented in the fucking books! I know fucking life! You're a piece of shit that the Shit! Don't do it. Don't do it. You destroyed. You destroyed. You did. That's my daughter. She witnessed it.
I didn't know what was actually
I'm telling you right now. I don't have to act shit. It's documented in the fucking courts.
I think you should go. Charlie,
Let's go.
let her go. Don't stop her. Come on, you guys.
Don't even engage me. Stop. Please go. Please go. Let's go. Charlie, now. Let's go. Now.
Let's go. Come. No, come on, let's go.
Charlie's now. Charlie's now.
Charlie! 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 Charlie!
Charlie's, get over here now. Walk away now. So, just go. Let's go.
There's no reason to stand and stare at everything, guys.
Before I give the full story time of walking in on my dad and my grandma doing it, let me show you who all these characters are. Sorry, it's not the best quality picture, but this is what I have. A couple people were asking for a grandma reveal. There's my grandma, my mom's mom. There's my mom's dad. They are not together, and were not together at the time. They're a whole story on their own. I won't get into that right now. And then there's my dad. So before I start the story, I am gonna say I'm gonna make it a little less haha funny and a little more that's horrible, because I'm pretty sure that my grandma was grooming my dad. Like, I feel like he was taken advantage of. So I'll start way from the beginning of my parents. My grandma had my mom when she was 16, and then my parents met when they were 15 years old. So that means that my grandma was 31 when she met my 15-year-old dad. Now, I could be wrong because I was very small, but from what I remember of my very early childhood is that when my grandma was at my house, my dad wasn't. And when my dad was at my house, my grandma wasn't. It's almost like my mom didn't want them around each other. Then I think about stories that I've heard from family members in my life, and it sounds like when my dad was 15, he would be hanging out at my grandma's without my mom there, doing all sorts of substances. So to me, it sounds like my grandma used substances to take advantage of him and groom him. So yeah, at my very young childhood, my grandma and my dad wouldn't be at my house at the same time. But then at some point we moved from the town we were in to a new town. And when we started living there, my grandma was homeless. So my mom felt so bad, she would let my grandma come stay with us. And every time my grandma was gonna come stay, my dad would try to fight against it. He would say, no, I don't want her here. She causes problems. She's gonna come get us strung out. I don't want her here. But my mom would say, it's my mom. I feel so bad for her. She gave me life. I have to help her. So my grandma would come, she'd stay with us. Eventually, my parents would be strung out again and they'd be fighting, and then my grandma would leave. The night when I woke up and heard my mom scream, "That's why you effed my mom," was a night after there had been a big fight and my grandma had left. So after that, I tried to convince myself that I didn't actually hear that, or that it didn't actually happen, that it was like a weird dream or something. I couldn't hear the rest of what they were saying that night, so I just rolled over and I went back to sleep. I will say I always couldn't stand my grandma. I always hated her. Every time she would come to visit and she would try to kiss me, I would get so grossed out and so mad. So yeah, I didn't have a good relationship with my grandma all throughout my childhood. I would be really mean to her. She was really mean to me. Then when my mom died, she came to stay with us for a little while. I was not happy about it because I didn't like her and I felt like my dad didn't like her either. But my dad said, your mom would want her here. Your mom would want her safe. Your mom would want her to have somewhere to eat. Your mom would want me to take care of her. So at this point, my dad has not been using because my mom just died, and he's like really trying to get his shit together because he's like, I need to be there for my kids. My grandma shows up. She says, you need a woman in the home. You need someone cooking. You need someone doing this and that. I can do that for you. Within a few days of her being there, they were strung out. They were fighting constantly. Nothing was being cleaned and there was like no food in the house. And that's when I walked in on them. I don't remember what I was going to my dad's room for, to ask him for something, I guess. But I opened the door and I saw them. And I stood there for a moment frozen, and then I closed the door and I went back down to my siblings. And just like when I was a little kid, I pretended that nothing happened. I pretended that I saw nothing. And they didn't acknowledge it. They didn't say anything to me. They didn't say, sorry, you walked in on that. So I just continued to tell myself I was seeing things. My grandma did end up staying a little bit longer. One day, my grandma and my dad got in a big fight, so my dad left the house. My grandma went in the bathroom and she got really high and she fell down in the bathroom and she broke the toilet. And then she was like bleeding and she's laying on the floor in the bathroom and she's crying and crying. And she's like, nobody loves me because I'm just a grumpy old troll that lives under the bridge. And I told her, yeah, you're right, Grandma. And then I searched for the phone so I could call my dad and beg him to come home. And I was standing where my grandma could hear me. I'm like, Dad, come home and save us from this grumpy old troll from under the bridge. So then eventually my dad came home and him and my grandma kept arguing. They kept fighting for the rest of the day. Then things calmed down for a couple days. Then my grandma said she had to go take care of some business in another town and she's going to take the Amtrak and she's going to leave for a weekend and she'd be back after the weekend. But somehow I knew she wasn't coming back and she didn't. I feel like there's so much more that I could say for this story, but I have a hard time of deciding like what details are most important. So if anyone has specific questions that they want to ask, go ahead.
My mom is 100% my biggest doll. I'm leaving the house this morning to go to school, and my mom tells me she has to come to my school at 10 o'clock for a meeting about my attendance. And I notoriously leave school, okay? I hate that place. I would much rather be at home. So, and she's gotten calls from my counselor and teachers in the past about my attendance. So I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be bad. And naturally, I spend the rest of the day stressed the fuck out, scared, worried, what are they saying, literally shitting my pants the entire day. I had then asked my mom if she could pick up my Starbucks and drop it off at the school because there's a Starbucks right next to my school, and she was like, okay, I'll do that when I'm out of this meeting. And I was like, okay. So I keep texting her. I'm like, are you out of the meeting yet? Are you still in the meeting? Again, still fully thinking that they are just sitting in there talking about my attendance. And then finally at 1 o'clock, she gets out of this meeting. She had been there since 10 a.m. And she goes and picks up my Starbucks, whatever, and I get it from her. And I'm like, what happened? What did they say? And she's kind of laughing. And I'm like, well, wasn't it about me? And she looks at me, she goes, no, I was kidding. Girl had me stressed the entire day thinking that I was about to get in so much trouble for my attendance when she was just joking. What the fuck? Literally had me scared for my life. Horrified, terrified of what was gonna happen. Bitch walked the prank on me. Another example of her being an op, there's this guy that she really wants me to date. Not only did she tell this guy's mom that she thinks we should date, we are at my house, the girlies, getting ready for a function last weekend. We were all sitting on my bed, just kind of chit-chatting. My mom walks into the room and goes, Adia, is so-and-so gonna be there tonight? And I'm like, girl, I've told her on numerous occasions that I don't like him, so many times. Literally says that in front of all my friends. Is he gonna be there tonight? What the fuck? She then proceeds to tell me that she's probably gonna see him the next day and that she's going to tell him to ask me out. Thankfully, she did not end up actually seeing him or telling him to ask me out, but just the principle of the situation. Girl, what are you doing? She also aired me out at family dinner. We had family dinner with my sister and her boyfriend and the family. And she starts bringing up this guy, asking about him, saying if we're gonna hang out soon. And I'm like, how many times do I have to tell this woman I don't want this man? Like, I just don't want him. So now I'm wondering, like, has she given this man some ideas that I want him? Like, what has she been saying to him? I'm just scared, okay? I just, like, don't want to have to deal with the repercussions of my mother's actions here. Brooke is here in the background. She's really enjoying this podcast-esque. Say hi.
Hi, guys.
This poses a problem because I tell my mom everything, okay? Clearly, because she knows this much. And sometimes she runs with it. She runs with it and she goes far. She does miles with it. She does laps, okay? She runs a 10K with this information. I mean, don't get me wrong. I fucking love my mom. It's just like, could you not be my number one op at all times? At the end of the day, I've just had to learn that a Slavic mother is always gonna be stirring the motherfucking pot, okay? She gets it from my grandma. My grandma'd be doing the same shit. Like, I swear my mother is the sole reason I don't give a fuck about any of my, like, actual ops, because I'm like, whatever you're saying will never compete to what my mother's doing. And, you know, my mom and I are the same person, so, like, would I do the same thing when I have children? Yes, I will. No op will ever scare me, all thanks to my mother.
Okay, y'all, this gonna be a story time when I was little. I tried to do a stitch when this girl said, tell me the tea, I'm bored. But every time I just made this video, y'all, they took my sound off. That's how I know TikTok be biased, and they do not want anything to go viral when you this color. I'ma just say that. So if anybody see this, if y'all don't see this, I really don't care because I don't want my family to see this video anyways. Okay, so I was little. I'm little, y'all. I'm 6 years old. I'm outside. I'm playing in the yard like a normal 6 years old would do. Like, I'm outside. I'm playing in the yard with my dolls, my bread dolls and sticks and all of that. Not to mention, y'all, I had my hair braided down. I used to love my mama braid my hair like, you know, little braids like this with your real hair and put beads at the end so I can shake them on the girls at school who was bald-headed and couldn't get it. So, yes, y'all, I love that. So I'm in the yard, y'all, like a little child should be, playing in the yard with my dolls and my sticks, because I used to love to break my baby dolls' heads off. My breast doll used to love to rip their heads off, because why you think you look better than me? You know? So I'm sitting in the yard, and next thing I know, my cousin Nematode, I'm going to call him Nematode, he see me and he approaches the yard. When he approached the yard, y'all, he like, where your uncle and your brother? Because, you know, we all was kids then. He was 15, I'm 6. My cousin Nematode was 15, I'm 6. He was 15, no 14. I don't know. I just know he was a big, tall, green giant. Because I always was scared of him because every time he come around, it'd be some weird stuff. Like, he'll try to kiss me and stuff. Like, it'd always be weird. So I always was scared of him. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, we was told that he's retarded because his mama gave him liquor when he was a baby. Like, gave him a bottle of liquor when he was a baby. Let him drink it. Baby, yeah. So, yeah, cousin Nematode was the retarded cousin who everybody feared. We was scared of his big retarded ass because he always had that goofy laugh. Still to today, he's big as hell, top big, a big, scary looking ass man. So, yeah, cousin Nematode come to y'all, where your uncle, where your brother at? I'm like, I don't know. They ran down the street chasing each other with sticks or whatever I said because they was real deal running each other around with sticks because they was trying to fight. Like, we fought each other a lot when we was little. So, yeah, y'all. Nematode coming to y'all. He see me playing with my dolls and stuff. Nematode come over and he decides to pick me up. Whole time, my grandmama is in the house. That's how you know parents can be around or whoever is supervision, whatever I'm trying to fucking say. Whoever watching the kid, just don't be watching the kids because you in a fucking house, this big motherfucker come and pick me up. Pick me up! So as he picking me up, y'all, I'm afraid of heights. I'm kicking. I'm kicking. I'm like, let me down, Nematode. Let me down, Nematode. Nematode didn't let me down. No, Nematode proceed to walk until we got in the backyard while he's still holding me. And I'm kicking. So, this our house. Next door is the house we used to stay in. And the house after that is my uncle's house, which is my cousin. But you know how you can grow up calling your cousin your uncle and your uncle your cousin? This type of moment. My uncle, who is really my cousin, I call him uncle though, because he was like an uncle. So yes, my uncle's house right here. We ain't got no gates in the backyard. Like, you can really see what's going on in your folks' house. Like, everybody on this street in Boxtown is some kin. Like, all of us from Boxtown is something kin. It's a hood in Westwood called Boxtown, y'all, in Memphis. All of us is some kin. So, if everybody be outside every other day drinking and loud, and it be my uncle and my cousin and everybody, all the old other motherfuckers outside, and everybody see everything else, how the fuck y'all don't see Nematode big ass taking me to the back of this house? So when we get to the back of the house, Nematode holding me with one arm. This Nematode, one arm is around my stomach. He holding me with one arm, so my head hitting the house. He holding me with one arm, and he pulling my pants on my skirt, my shorts, whatever I had on. I believe it was a skirt. He pulling my skirt down. Next thing I know, my skirt then hit my ankles. Nematode pulling out a big long john. Because back then, come on now, I'm 6 years old. I don't know what I'm working with. All I know is I pee and I wipe myself. I don't know what I'm working with because they didn't tell me. Yes, I had the parents that didn't tell you nothing. My mama didn't even want us. My grandmama raised us. And my grandmama used to beat the living Christ out of us. Real deal. That's probably why I'm not a Christian now, because my grandma beat the living Christ out of me. Real talk. Like, no shade. My grandma used to kick you in your stomach and make you can't breathe. Soon we do this, gas for her. She coming across our back, whacking us. Like, I really think that was the bruise, how she used to tie our ass up. Real talk, and I tell this lady to this day, man, this lady real deal will say, I didn't do that. Woman, you traumatized us. We used to call our deadbeat mama, begging her to get us, knowing she not fit to get us. We used to beg her, talking about, man, we can't wait to stay with you. We scared of grandma. She beating us. I remember this. I remember everything in my childhood. Like, come on now, my grandma used to beat the living Christ out of us, literally. So, yeah, that let you know how much I feared my grandmama as a child. So, boom, man, Nematode got his pull his thing out, and I guess he think he inserted it in me. I feel it on me, but now that I'm grown, I know it didn't go inside of me. Like, I feel it rubbing on me, though, the nastiest feeling ever. Like, it's rubbing me, y'all. It's real deal rubbing me. In and out. That's how he was moving. He was moving in and out, but it's rubbing. You know what I'm saying? It's there. So, boom, he proceeds to ask me, do it feel good? Do it feel good? I'm 6 years old. I don't know if it feel good. I don't know what's going on. I'm scared. I'm really thinking my grandma gonna come out the house and I'm dead. I'm scared. The hell? And no, I didn't scream or nothing, y'all, because I'm thinking whatever I'm doing, I'm finna get my butt whooped. And it wasn't even my doing. It was Nematode doing it to me. But I'm thinking I'm finna get my butt whooped because that's how bad my grandma used to beat us. That I didn't even scream from help while my cousin molested me. I was that scared that I'm doing something wrong and she finna beat the hell out of me because he molested me. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how you know, like, you can think that you done let hurt and stuff go, but talking about this shit, man. Hold on, y'all. Talking about this type of stuff triggers me. Because I've been getting molested since 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And then my own cousin molested me. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I use my body growing up as physical. Like, the physical touch is love. Like, you have to touch me. You have to do something to me for me to feel like you love me. And people think, oh, she's so overly sexual, active, and all of that stuff, how I am. I can't hide how I am. Because I show the side of love by sexting people. You know what I'm saying? I done slept with over 800 men, baby. Yes, over 800. And I'm young. So, fuck is you saying? I done slept with over 800 men, baby. So, y'all, after he do that and he pull his pants and stuff back up, y'all, I'm so scared to go in the house because I'm thinking my grandma done heard what's going on outside in the backyard. I'm thinking she knows something. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, I proceed to go right back outside and continue to play with my dolls and play with the sticks and stuff because I didn't want to go in the house and get my ass tore up. I'm thinking she finna real deal beat the hell out of me because I'm down here with my pants out and I felt like it was wrong. I don't see how my uncle next door didn't hear my cries and saying stop and put me down. None of that. I don't even see how my grandma didn't hear what's going on. You right in the house. I know General Hospital and whatever was going on back then wasn't that loud, baby. You wasn't that into the soap opera that you didn't know your granddaughter back in the back of the yard getting molested by a cousin. So that just goes to show y'all, lady, it be our family that will hurt us. It be our mother's friends that'll hurt us, that come around and they be like, ooh, she gonna be something serious when she get older. That be the keyword that they say. Y'all friends say that and y'all laugh and be like, yeah, my baby gonna be something serious, gonna be like a mama, gonna be bad, gonna be beautiful. Y'all thinking it's a compliment, but the whole time he plotting up on when your daughter get older, how he finna slide up in her. Oh, they'll do this little trick. Pick your baby up. You know what I'm saying? Knowing you 5, 6, 7 years old, you too big to be in a man's lap. Pick you up, put them in the lap, make their leg vibrate so it can put a little adrenaline in the so we can feel a little rush down there. I done had all that happen to me, baby. But yeah, my cousin was much less than me.
Hey y'all, get ready with me while I tell you how my friend group of 5 went to 4 in one night. I had this wonderful friend group of 5 girls, of course, and it was just a regular hangout night not too long ago, actually, during spring break, and I had all my girls over. Until, of course there's always an until, the one girl in our group, let's call her Lily, we were as a group collectively deciding which Disney character reminded us of each. I know girls get their feelings hurt easily, and no one was like mean or anything. Like, I was Rapunzel, someone else was Belle. Like, you know, it wasn't mean. And we got to Lily. I don't even remember what they called her, but she ended up getting her feelings hurt and started like shouting and making it a bigger deal. We were doing this discussion in the kitchen, and so I looked around and there was a butter knife on the table, and I said, why don't we do a talking butter knife? So basically, if you were holding the butter knife, you could talk and nobody else could, because everyone was shouting at this point. And being 100% honest, this actually worked, except for Lily. She did not want to do the talking butter. We ended up stopping the game because it got too much because of Lily, and we just went on our way. Well, anywho, a few hours had gone by, like maybe 2, and we had not seen Lily. So because I was hosting the little sleepover, I decided to go, find her and check on her, because again, she is our friend. So I looked for like 30 minutes, couldn't find her. I'm calling her name, and I'm looking in the bathrooms, and I go in my little sister's bathroom. It's completely dark, and she was sitting in front of the door in the dark of my sister's bathroom. And like, she heard me call her name and didn't respond. I practically pushed my way through this door to sit down and talk to her, and she's basically like crying, and I'm like scrolling on Shein, and I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing continuously, right? And then I just leave, because if you're not gonna tell me what's wrong, there's nothing I can do for you. Okay, so I ended up going back downstairs, and then I heard her talking super loudly right close to my mom's room. At this point, it's like 3 a.m. She has to get up for work in about 2 hours, and she's sitting there talking super loudly on the phone, and I snapped. So I go to the room where she's at, right by my mom's room, and I'm like, hey, listen, you can be upset, that's totally okay, but you cannot sit here, be loud on the phone when my mom is trying to sleep after so much she does for us. She ends up refusing to move and gets louder. And I'm being calm, patient, no cussing, nothing. I wasn't being mean. I was like, listen, you really need to move. You can go to the living room, you can go to my room, you can go outside, but you need to move. And when I said she could go outside, she goes, so you're kicking me out? No. Well, at this point, she's on the phone with her mom or grandma, and she's screaming, cussing, yelling, begging to come get her to pick her up because we're ganging up on her, when I was literally just, it's giving pathological liar. Like, I tried to be nice, but you're not getting your ass up and moving, and you're going to wake my mom up, and she's gonna get mad at me. And so then I got mad, and I was like, get your ass up and go. Now, now, go. I was so mad. And she finally gets up, goes outside, sits outside, crying, cussing at her mom, like, come pick me up. And she's like, it's 3 a.m., I'm not picking you up. She's like, I don't give a shit, come pick me up. You know what I mean, right? Ends up convincing grandma and mom, I don't know, to come get her. And so we go upstairs. I was like, you're not coming back in, like, with this state of frantic manic. You're not. And I left the door open. She's sitting right there by the door, and I'm like, we'll go get your bag, it's already packed, because it was the last night they were spending the night. Bring it down, we bring it, go, right? And then she's like, calls her mom, and her mom's like, walk to the end of the driveway and we'll get you. And I was like, oh, thank the Lord. This story time doesn't even grasp how loud, rude, disrespectful, like, she was to everybody. Like, there was so much more. You had to live it. And those 4 girls, I'm sure they'll comment, like, So she starts walking to the end of the driveway, and I was like, I wouldn't want to walk to the end of the driveway at 3 a.m. in the dark by myself. My driveway is super long. And so I was like, we'll walk with you. And she was like, no, go yourself. I help you. Super rude. And we were all calm and chill. No one was cussing. No one was nothing. So we're like, we're just going to walk behind her. So she's walking, and she's like 20 feet above us. So she ends up sitting on the road of the highway by my house, even though, like, she didn't want to be by us. Like, that didn't make sense. Her sister goes and checks on her, and Lily swings on her, and her sister just backs up and walks away. I was like, you know what, fine, you can stay there. So her mom pulls up, right? Gets out of the car, and she's trying to pull up my driveway, and I'm like, you're not about to pull up my driveway and be loud and wake my mama up. So, like, she didn't end up pulling up ever fully up on my driveway. Like, I stood my ground, and she's, like, all upset, and she's talking about somehow she was going to protect her babies or whatever, and, like, of course, like, I get that motherly instinct, but she wasn't getting the full story. She was just getting Lily's story. Anyway, so her mom ends up trying to get her sister to come home as well after Lily just gave us death threats, and of course she was like, no, I'm not going, I didn't do anything. Everyone's crying at this point. They're shouting, screaming, cops being threatened to be called. So overdramatic. I mean, it was all girls, so, like, anyway, Lily's uncle was there too, and so he ends up calming everyone down, which is the only time a situation a man has ever helped. I'm just kidding. I can't say that. Which is a situation a man has ever calmed down. And so basically, he calms it down and gets her to leave. And she leaves, and she ends up blocking me. She blocked me. Lily blocked me on everything. One of the beautiful girls from the 4 friend group now. Anyway, bye, beautiful people.
Do you guys want to hear about my worst Valentine's Day ever? I'm gonna tell you. So a couple years ago, 5 years ago, yikes, I was dating somebody, and we'd been dating for like 6 months, and I told him, hey, Valentine's Day's coming up. This is my first Valentine's Day with a man, and that's pretty special. I would like to do something special for Valentine's Day, even if it's just like going to dinner, whatever. He's like, yeah, I got you. By the end of January, he still hadn't said anything to me about Valentine's Day. So I asked my friends to go on a covert mission and ask him what he had planned, obviously. So when we were all out at the bar, I went to the bathroom, and they asked him, like, what are the plans for you and Brie for Valentine's Day? And he's like, don't worry about it. I got it covered. I got a reservation. Like, you got nothing to worry about. So they report this information back to me, and I'm like, beautiful. I love surprises. And it's hard to surprise me. So I was like, this is great. So I got a new outfit. I got him presents, I got him wine, I drew him a picture of us, and I wrote him a handwritten letter. And when he came to pick me up, I was so excited. He did have flowers for me, which was the first time he'd ever got me flowers. So I was stoked. I was stoked on the flowers. And on the way there, he was like, where do you think we're going? I was like, I have no idea. I actually am gonna be so surprised. I'm never surprised. So you really got me this time. And we're like driving out towards the beach, and I'm like, what's near the beach that's like a nice restaurant? Spoiler alert, there's not one. He pulls off into a dirt parking lot. He's like, I bet you know where we're going now. It's one of your favorite places. I'm like, this has to be a joke, because he pulled into the parking lot of a dollar slice pizza place that we go to when we go to the beach all the time. Like literally like a shack. It's a pizza shack. It's like, you sit down and you get your dollar slice pizza and your dollar beer and you go on your way. He took me there on Valentine's Day. I was like, this is really funny. This is a good prank. Now take me to the real restaurant, please. No, he was being serious. He was being so serious. So we went into this restaurant, me and my new outfit that I bought. He's like, I ordered you a Corona. I'm like, so romantic. That's what every girl wants to hear on Valentine's Day. So we eat in silence. He can tell that I'm pissed. Not even pissed. I was genuinely just really sad. He pays the $6 tab, and we leave. And I'm trying to like salvage the evening. I'm like, should we go out? Should we go to a cocktail bar? Should we go get dessert? Should we go like sit on the beach? Should we go drink that wine I got you? Like, should we do something like even slightly romantic at all? He's like, nah, I gotta be up early. Classic. So we went back to my place, and he stayed over, and we literally just went straight to sleep. And I was fully like laying on his chest, crying. Couldn't help it. You know what I'm talking about when like you're just so sad and tears are just rolling off your face a little bit. So I'm crying onto his chest, his bare chest, so he can feel it. He can feel it like fully, like it's pooling up there, Just doesn't say anything. He literally just pretended to not even notice that I was fully crying on him because I was so sad. Anyway, I did stay with him after that because I'm like, I'm not going to break up with someone for a bad Valentine's dinner, although it was really sad. He never apologized. He never acknowledged it. He just took his gifts and left. That was a bummer. And I've since learned that is, men will they will show you exactly who they are by the way that they treat you. He clearly did not love me. He did not care about me that much, because that is not how you would treat somebody that you loved and cared about, especially when they explicitly say to you, this is important to me. So, but I did stay with him because I was 21. And then I found out a few months later that he was cheating on me, actually, the whole time. The whole relationship, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, random girls in bars, you name it. You name it. He was there. So, yeah, I probably should have seen that coming.
When people say it is very hard as a grown woman to find female friends, this is what they mean. I was at the gym yesterday, and it is the gym at my apartment complex. And when we moved into this apartment complex, I kind of was like, I wonder if I'm gonna find any friends, because there seems to be a lot of people around my age. I'm seeing a lot of women. It's a pretty big complex, and there's one gym, and I'm like, you never know. So this was my second day going to my apartment's gym, and I was just about done. I was on the treadmill, and these two women walk in that are maybe like a year older than me, whatever, they're friends. And initially they see me through the window, and I just see the look on their face, and they just immediately just like look annoyed that they didn't have the gym to themselves. Which that's fine, because sometimes I'm like that too, where I'm like, I just want to be alone. I don't want anyone to be here. But they get on the two treadmills beside the one that I am on, and I'm not bothering them doing anything. I have my headphones in. I'm just walking, running, whatever. I get done with my workout, and I go to pick up all my stuff. I pick up my AirPods case, and I drop it. Of course, my AirPods case just slides right underneath the treadmill that one of the girls is on. And I was like, great. So she doesn't notice, and she doesn't have on any headphones. And I go, hey, I'm so sorry. My AirPods case slid underneath your treadmill. And she just looked me up and down and went, okay. So I just kind of like stood there for a second. I was like, so I'm gonna reach underneath the treadmill that you're using, which I wasn't asking her to like stop working out or anything like that. You could just like reach underneath it. I'm not gonna get hurt or anything. But I just wanted to tell her, and I said that to her. I said, I just want to tell you so you didn't get creeped out by this lady reaching underneath your treadmill. I'm just grabbing my AirPods case real quick. And she went. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was just the whole thing. And you would think that was the nice thing to do, to let her know, because wouldn't it be kind of scary if you were on a treadmill and some random person was on the floor reaching their hand underneath the equipment that you were using? I feel like you'd be just a little bit scared. So I just was like, hey, so sorry, I dropped my AirPods case underneath. I'm just gonna grab it real quick. The conversation was a good 10 seconds. I wasn't like, hey, how are you guys doing? What's your name? Like, nothing like that. I was trying to just be as quick as possible, because I also wanted to like leave and go home. So when women say it is hard to find friends, that's what they mean. Because women are mean. Just mean for no reason. That is about 90% of the interactions that I have with women my age. And I don't understand it. If someone had said that to me, I'd be like, oh, okay, no problem, whatever. I wouldn't look someone up and down and be like, okay, and scoff at them because they let me know what they were about to do before being weird. This is a very vulnerable thing for me to post. I actually was telling my husband on the phone about what happened like hours later, and just started crying and I didn't realize like how bad it affected me, but it was so jarring and random. It is something that I'm genuinely insecure about, of like, I don't really have any friends. I have my son and I have my husband, and my husband is my absolute best friend. But, as a woman, seeing all these people that are just like girlhood and all these like girl brunches and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I want that. And I want that more than like once every 8 months. And yes, in general, like it is very hard to find friends as an adult. And especially it is very hard to find friends as a woman because of how many women are just mean. And I am not claiming to be someone that is the nicest person in the universe. I promise you that I have my moments that I could be the biggest bitch ever. But I will say right off the bat, especially to strangers or people that I don't know, I'm very kind. I'm a very open person. I am never just like mean or rude off the bat unless you are actually coming at me or my family. So just a PSA, please stop being mean. Just stop.